We had a bunch of go to the festivals. He had like songs that, get everybody involved. I wanted to.
To watch it.
We want to push on things. They should be happy for our questions that we have.
And the minutes were a little off because hi, Dirty. I thought it was cute. Yeah, I read it and I read it again. I was like, hi.
That's exactly.
That's a big upgrade, that's nice.
To some people, that may not be much.
I did do that last night. Think about it. Hi, Dirty. I think that the agenda and the minutes, I think everybody else is on the minutes are the same. Well, I think they just include on the date. You survived Saturday. I bet you were around here so exhausted. He's right there. Oh, rally. That's a nice event. So you can have 8 or plus. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay, I know they want you back.
You want to stay right there? That's exactly what will happen.
You got your face on the wall down there, close around?
Rachel, no, Becky's really excited. Yeah. Yeah, she had a.
Did you have a chance to go over it?
But she's.
You got a canoe?
They couldn't, you know, get maybe get
That's all they need, that's all we got.
I'm gonna add those winners and
He's still living there.
Cheryl was trying to find what the changes.
I didn't have a problem.
Gertrude and,
Once he kept them there, he called over
My name. Brad, who was the guy that was interested in renting your room from you, it's on your last floor.
Everybody, conversation in the pledge of allegiance, Pastor Wade.
Before I pray, I want to thank the town council for the effort that you made to bring staff to our fire station. 5 weeks ago, we had one of our church members attacked by dogs and lacerated her face and her arms, and if they had to come from Jasper, she would probably bled to death. But because you guys have staffed our fire station with firefighters and paramedics, her treatment was immediate, and she was transported, and she's doing fine. So that's another thing. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, as we gather tonight, we pray for your wisdom and all the proceedings here. Lord, we pray for the upcoming elections to our town council. It's only 5 or 6 weeks away. We pray that our town would turn out and vote and exercise their right as citizens and speak up. And Lord, we pray that our town council would always do what they've done and do what's best for the benefit of White Springs. Lord, we pray for our council, all of our town employees, and we pray for our residents that you would always protect us with your grace. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Gretchen.
Here.
Councilwoman Cheryl.
Here.
Councilman Robert. Present. Vice Mayor Nicole. I'm present. And Mayor Tondra is here. Before we go into our, agenda, the town manager have something to say about tomorrow morning.
I'm sure most of you have heard by now, but Governor DeSantis will be here tomorrow morning, coming in at 9:30, and will make a speech and dedicate the Alexander Hamilton statue that I understand they're installing it over across from the hardware store now at the cultural center. So we'll be here with that tomorrow morning. Community's invited, and especially in his invitation, wanted to business people, elected people, just anybody want to come in. I don't know what chance we'll have to have a few conversation with him, but we'll try to do our best to at least say a few words, and hopefully he'll speak to some of the people on the council at least. And I imagine Jasper, Hamilton County will probably show up if they're not too bad right now. But I understand that the statute was originally scheduled for Jasper, but somehow or another ran up here. I didn't know about it until this afternoon. I didn't have anything to do with it. Everybody be aware of that.
I have just a quick question. Do you know if that indicates that the park is going to invest more efforts to reestablishing the Folk Culture Center?
There have been some correspondence back and forth with that thing.
Still on
But it's still being considered, yes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the agenda, the approval of the minutes of January the 5th and the 13th, 2026, council meeting, February the 10th, and March the 3rd, council meeting.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes with the correction of January the 5th, 13th, and February the 10th, and the 3rd council meeting.
I second the motion.
Okay, has been motion and second that we approve the minutes of, January, February, and March. Ready for the question?
I have a question. There's a lot of attachments that say they should be on here, and they're not.
They will,
There one of 6 times it says see attachments, and there are no
that
attachments.
will be on the file, copy of this file, you want to give it to town hall.
But we don't get to see them.
There are things that are already, I'm trying to remember what,
Well, there's 6 of them listed in one of the meetings.
well, you're gonna have all this comprehensive and stuff, and, water report and, some other stuff that we put in tonight. But I'm trying to remember what, okay.
Was it on
Was
the,
it on that, was it on that report? Or was
is it on the big one?
Or was it on
I
my
look,
report?
because I made notes on mine.
Huh?
I have to look, because I made the notes on my paper. On both the general meetings,
Cause this is what the thin one is, they redid it.
You're probably referring to my report, which, is inside the, should be inside the package you got.
what is supposed to be inside my package?
The one, on my report to the council, if it shows, attachment,
Yeah, I saw that, I saw yours, but like,
What kind of attachments are you talking about?
well, on January 26th, there was supposed to be a copy attached, from Mr. Garner on, the 5-year capital improvement. Is that what this big fat thing is that we got?
you got that last month, it was in the back of last month, 5-year capital improvement plan.
Okay, so everything that says see attached is what we got last month.
Not month or it's attached now.
Yes,
And it'll be-
last month and
it'll be-
this month.
And it'll be attached in the actual
It'll be
minutes.
attached in the final copy.
Okay, that answers my question, thank you.
The official copy that's on file with the town clerk. Will require you to send it.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? All in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it, motion carried. Okay, next report is the financial report, Mr. Powell.
Okay, so the financial report was a handout, and it's 8 pages in the landscape. Okay, so this is the report for the 5 months ended February. So again, I mentioned that we were able to produce a current report. And so the columns, the actual, and that's the actual for the 5 months. The budget is the pro rata budget, then the math over under budget and percent of budget. So the first 5 pages is general fund. So the revenue for general fund, if you look on page 2, is $348,364, and that's running close to budget. If you go to total expenditures, and that'll be on page 5 at the end. Total expenditures are $462,097. So for the 5 months, you are in the negative $113,733. So when you look through that, the reason is you pay $86,000 of CDBG payments that will be reimbursed in the future, but for now came out of your reserves. And you, I think the planning budget will be, the planning expenditure is running, it ran ahead of the pro rata budget, so it's probably okay. So you've already spent the total of the planning budget. So when you add that together, both of those equate to the 130,000. So know, and so it's not a negative trend. It's just, and I'll say that all small cities I ever go to, is that it's great to have grants, but when you have to upfront the expense and then get the revenue in the future, it really strains your reserves. Okay, on page 6 is the enterprise fund, and the total revenue toward the end of page 6 is $301,831, which is tracking a little ahead of the pro rata to $66,250. So that's good. The expenditures on page 8, the expenditures are $299,399. They're a little ahead of the pro rata budget, but if you look up there, I think there you pay $22,212 in professional services, which is again probably related to a grant. So I think the enterprise fund is tracking with the budget, have an accurate budget, and your expenditures seem to be tracking that way. So, any questions on the financial report?
I don't know if you would know this, but do you know when they will be reimbursing us for that grant?
I think
We got correspondence this week that they have approved 5 disbursements that go, I don't remember, I forget what it is, but there's a big number coming in on time that we paid out. But if you mess up in the, well, when the federal government shut down, like 6 weeks or 6 weeks, Christmas time, or back then, everything shut down. All the government funds was coming in, the state shut down. And so there was nothing being paid out. But yet the contractors kept working, and we had to pay them. It's like yesterday, we paid about $75,000 to our CDBG contractors. But that's all been approved by the state now, so soon as the money starts moving, we'll get reimbursed, and we've got records of all that approved, and they just waiting for the state to release the money.
So soon, the government turns.
No, I asked the government tomorrow, I go change something. But yeah, this is something that, the federal government shutdown is what they get, what's called. When they shut down, nothing moves, they.
Yeah, I remember the food stamp issue.
That's basically, that's what you're really supposed to do.
Anybody have any more questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Gordon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good meeting.
Mr. Powell.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, and also, thank your wife for all that you've done to get the
She really, really tries hard. I need to say that.
Tell her say hello.
Okay.
Okay, the next, item on the agenda is a presentation from Ms. Kathy Hicks. She's not here.
Okay, table it.
We'll table her. Okay, citizens from Florida. When she comes in,
My name is John Warner, I live in Kendrick Street.
What was the address?
Kendrick Street, 106, 022. And first I'd like to thank Frank for getting this water project moving. Thank you very, very much. It's good to see you. As you know, you know better than anybody we need it. So thank you. I got a question for everybody here. Do you folks all believe in transparency of everything?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and that includes transparency of funds.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some information that given to me, I'm not gonna be able to send anything. But monies were handed out without receipts. How can that be in today's government?
I would like to find out anybody that's gotten money without receipts. since
I don't have to,
since
I'm
I've
just
been down.
saying.
I just want to know, I want somebody to come to me and show me where city money has been spent without
That's,
receipts.
I'm glad to hear that. Really
I
am.
want to see it.
Okay. The other thing is, that I do have is, I saw what happened over there, just when I drove up, and the immediate improvement that happened out there in that, right across the street from the hardware store.
Visitor center?
The visitor center. It's,
Focus
I mean, they've done a wonderful, wonderful job, and all, apparently also, the town workers have cleaned up nicely around, at least a block or so around the whole place. That's kind of nice to see. So, appreciate it, everyone. And that's it.
Thank you, John.
What the heck did I do?
We just spent some money, I guess.
Already heard that.
Get electrocuted.
Ray, you did it?
That was bad.
All right, no research.
Yes.
Oh, you won't come up.
There you go, thanks. George Tuidor, 16511 Jewett Street, here in White Springs. Actually, it's kind of a good thing. John talked about rumors, right? You hear rumors of things. And so I heard one, actually, that I endorsed the purchase of the Telford, which is absolutely not true. I've not made any endorsement of the purchase of the Telford. I just want to know what the whole plan is, and what we're going to do with it before we move forward on anything, but I have made no public endorsement of it. Second thing is, apparently, I didn't realize this, that a lot of American citizens have a hard time getting photo IDs. So if there's anyone in the town that's an American citizen that needs my assistance, I can crack the code for them to get them photo ID and get them set up to vote in the November election. So I understand that's an issue, apparently according to Chuck Schumer. So if you need help, then you can buy cars and property and alcohol and tobacco and firearms and get on airplanes and get passports and all the other stuff that you need. So just give me a ring. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sharon Shea, 10610 Weston Street. And I have just a couple things for everybody up to date on. For the people out there that don't know me, I am currently, once again, the president of Swanee Bicycle Association. So that started up this past January. It's been on the board for the last 20 years probably. And I'm still president of the White Springs Historic Preservation Society. So some of these things have to do with both the topics I'm going to just hit on real quickly. If any of you had the chance to go to the state park over the weekend, you will have experienced a wonderful event. It was the Florida Trail Fest. It was their second year having it, but the first year of holding it in the park totally. There was also another event going on, which was the Florida Death Race, and that was put on by Run Bum Tours, and they do fundraisers, runs, trail running for the Florida Trail Association. So they were also having an event, and he had like over 180 people registered, but with the heat, he only had about 100 that showed up, and they came from all over the United States. And of course, the Florida Trail Fest was for people that have hiked the Florida Trail, are hiking the Florida Trail, or want to hike the Florida Trail, or just wanted to be there to enjoy the vendors, the food trucks, and so on. And I know the Florida Trail Festival, Florida Trail Association is looking forward to having it back in White Springs and then that next year. So, and another thing to add to that is, and I did not work a whole lot with them, but I gave them some ideas. And Edward McCook, who we all of us know from formerly being with the Swanee Water Management District, who is also on the SBA board, he took out a total of 18 paddlers on the Low River, put on the river by ACA, as part of one of the activities that they had for their attendees. They sold out of the camp spots. Over 300 people paid to camp in the park that weekend, and they have tents everywhere, so they were allowed dispersed camping. They had over 800 people pre-register to come for the day, and it was a free event for anybody that just wanted to walk in. And so they probably had quite a few more people show up. The second thing, that activity that I was just vaguely responsible for, was giving them Bruce's name to conduct walking tours, the historic walking tour that we have, and they were blown away by the response. We were limiting it to about 12 people, and he sold out of 2 tours on Saturday afternoon, and they had a waiting list that was at least 4 pages long. They think they could have had over 80 people that wanted to walk around the town of White Springs. And even when there wasn't a walking tour, because where our house is, one time I went out and I asked the people, do you have a brochure? They did, they picked one up. So people were just kind of nosing around, and that started even earlier. So that was fun. I just want to share some good things with you. The next good piece of news is the White Springs Library is going to have a mural. Nutrient is sponsoring it, and we hope to get some other local sponsorship to help defray some of the costs, so I've been working with a few other vendors. Rachel Budget Campbell, who many of you know as an arts teacher in Hampton County, also a wonderful artist who helped with our other murals last year, and as well as she's done some other murals working with me from the TBC and so on. So we're very lucky to have her. She designed the t-shirt and the poster for last year's Florida Folk Festival. So she's really good. And she's going to start painting on April 2nd. And hopefully, and the goal is to finish before the Florida Folk Festival, which I'm sure she will. And there will be one afternoon, or probably in the afternoon, Saturday painting, where we'll invite the youth to work with through the library to invite youth to come and paint some. So look for more information from the library about that. But the mural that she has designed is absolutely spectacular. And unlike the other 3 murals that focus on the flora, the fauna, and the critters, this one focuses on the history of White Springs, from the indigenous folks up to probably the early 1900s. And there's also, of course, an emphasis on library books. So you'll be excited to see what that mural is going to turn out to be. Absolutely stunning. The final update that I have is Lee had encouraged me to apply for, on behalf of WISP, for a Duke 250 grant. And we only had a few weeks to get a grant turned in. And so I was thinking, well, what would be a good project? And one of the projects that WISP, White Springs Historic Preservation Society, had thrown around when we first were organizing 3 years ago was revitalizing the East Side Cemetery. So I worked with some community folks, and we put together a grant, and we submitted it. And I just heard today that we did not get it. However, I got, and it's, there were a lot of people that applied for that, but I got a personalized letter from their community relations liaison. I got that personalized letter before I got the form letter from Duke, which was just the generic form. But she stated, thank you for submitting your grant and for sharing your organization's efforts to improve and revitalize the historic African-American East Side Memorial Cemetery located along the Black Heritage Trail. Serving sites that honor local history and legacy of those who came before us is deeply meaningful work, and we appreciate the dedication your organization has shown to this important effort. While your proposal demonstrated meaningful cultural and community value, we regret that we were not able to select it for funding during this cycle. Please note that this decision was based solely on the limited funding available and the number of deserving requests we received. We encourage you to consider reapplying again as future funding opportunities become available. So that is really important. And then I sent an email back asking kind of, okay, well, how do we know when one becomes available? And she reiterated, on a separate email, your project is very worthy. And the last piece of information is Duke is always looking for opportunities for their employees to volunteer in the community and for the state park. So we just have to reach out to Duke, and depending, not when it's hot in summer, but when we have projects that need some volunteers. So, and I have the contact who we're supposed to contact for that. So if there's any worthy projects, we'll just keep our eyes open, and that includes all of you out there too, because I mean, it could be anything, definitely manual labor. And as far as the East Side Cemetery, I was already thinking of having them painting the two entrance concrete structures, so you say that. And I think that is pretty much it.
Thank you.
And we will keep pursuing the East Side River Cemetery revitalization.
Did you reach out to Tony McCann?
Yeah, I sent him an email this morning forwarding him these two emails, and so that he could reach out to our wonderful people that were there.
Oh, okay.
We'll continue to work with the government people with.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't have to wait till Duke comes around again, but the fact that shows that it wasn't a good solid grant is important. And
I have one other thing here, so it don't surprise me. There's been questions about all the organizations having events and not getting permits. And I need to talk to you in a couple of weeks about how we can work out that.
yeah.
I mean, it's not,
Oh, I
we
understand.
don't want to
Yeah.
keep anything from happening, but we do it one, we have to do it all.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, things have changed every year. Yeah, so definitely, and unfortunately, WIS hasn't really had any events. So we need some events, we need to raise some money, right? This is our new meeting.
One last thing. One last thing. On a previous meeting, there was a request about a roadway adjacent to North Broadway, right? Can we get either vote or things that, yes, that the church meets the requirements of, getting the survey and whatever else is actually needed. There was a question about opening up that playground to the general public. That can't happen if you can avoid the black dogs crossing for any church services.
I'm still getting this still, other day, still say the same, get a notarized letter from the adjacent property owner.
Okay.
They have no objections and you get there. So you take work surveys and so forth, bring it back in like you're going to do before.
Okay, so the notarize, the survey, anything else?
Main thing is, you're going to have to get it surveyed and, come up with a sketch of it, get surveyed.
Yeah, survey, we can do the
That's out there, we'll get all that together and bring it back in, we'll look at it, and, but it should be, I don't think council has any problems with, what we got in our.
Can I ask the council, do we have unanimous approval?
I think we're that way with the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you hold it back.
No, we just wanted to get the actual requirements that you folks require. All right, thanks.
Anybody else? Citizens come forward. Next, item on the agenda. No old business? Okay, let's go to new business.
Y'all missing something.
What?
You didn't do any additions or deletions to the agenda. That part is get told.
I thought you were going to do it as part of your report.
Add to it, so
You have it in your report, you can bring up what you think you were in your report.
If it's for an action item, I would put it under comments. Yeah, that's the action item.
So, okay. I apologize. I thought it was.
Hold on one second. Okay, let's go back up. Add or deletion, okay, now, we missed out on an item on the agenda. So now, I'm asking the council, add, delete, or amend any, items that you wanna put on the agenda.
Madam Mayor, I do have an addition that I want to put on new business. D, under new business, and it will be the, Friends of the Telford Incorporated and the Articles of Incorporation.
So that means,
Just put Telford, make it quick.
Telford Corporation.
Yeah, the Telford Incorporation.
okay, do we have any more, items that need to be added to the agenda? Can someone make a motion to accept this item on the agenda?
I move to add item D, Telford Incorporation to section 8 business.
Second.
Okay, it has been motion and second that we, accept, the Telford Incorporation on the agenda as item D. Ready for the question? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? 5-0. Ayes have it. Okay.
Do we, just a question, do we need to read the, orders before we discuss this, about the, comprehensive plan?
You want to do the resolution, then the water supply, then the comp plan, is that, what order would you like to go in?
Resolution will cut and then water supply.
Okay. So we're actually going to be switching B and C.
Who's yours?
Thank you. Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, Northern Venice, Adam Powell, EDA Consultants. I'm here to present proposed revisions to your comprehensive plan and the associated data analysis and the water supply plan. So, Lee said I have 3 hours. All right.
Before you start, I would like to ask you, very pleasure. Many of you have been here in the room with the Savior who I've been.
For little Garrett.
Garrett, Mr. Garrett. Garrett. He's been with us several years with the firm, and he recently passed away.
Lord.
Lord did recently pass away after a long bout with cancer. I'd like to just ask for a moment of solace and then the Lord will Garrett. Amen.
Thank you. That means a lot. I knew Lowell for about 15 years, so.
I've known a long time.
Yeah. It's very rough. Yeah. Still still thinking about him. But yes, Mr. Garrett, he did actually do quite a bit of the work that I'm going to you this evening. So when he came to Clay and I picked up a lot of what he was doing and moved it to the finish line. So I gave you a presentation to go over. So the first slide, the second page, but kind of go over why this is important. Well, one of the biggest things is that it's statutorily required. But there's more than that. So the comprehensive plan, it provides the overarching document that guides the town. What the development looks like, the services it provides, reflection of its overall goals. The citizens through the council provide their input on what they believe the town should look like over the next year, 5 years, decades. And the council creates a plan that implements that vision. The goals, objectives, and policies that are found in the comprehensive plan filter down to the land development regulations and the zoning map, and then ultimately the building permits and site plan. So what actually comes out of the ground starts with the comp plan. Just like the budget is a reflection of the values, the comp plan is a reflection of the values of the citizens and the council. What we're presenting tonight, it is to meet the statutory requirements that the state sets forth. But that doesn't mean that whatever we present and you do adopt tonight, is what you're stuck with for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's a living document. As you go forward, as things, situations arise, if changes need to be made, the council is, well within the rights to reconsider any portion of the comp plan. So don't feel like this is what you're stuck with for the next 20 years. Next slide. So the goal is to accept the data analysis for the comprehensive plan amendment through resolution, and then adopt ordinance approving the comprehensive plan amendments. This is the adoption hearing. The transmittal hearing was actually held previously when it was just a private property rights element. I'll go over that in a second. And then finally, through ordinance, adopt the water supply plan first reading. And then at your next meeting, adopt the second reading of that ordinance. Those are the goals. The next slide starts the history. So the genesis of this comprehensive plan revision was a letter received by the town back in July of 2024. Essentially said, until you adopt a private property rights element, which is required, you can't adopt any amendments to your comprehensive plan. The town hired EDA consultants to draft this amendment, and we submitted it in February of 2025. Florida Department of Commerce returned with, oh yes, well, the private property rights element was good, but you also have to do all the other things, which didn't say the first time. So they issued an ORC report, objections, recommendations, and comments to the transmittal. At that point, we had a regroup, and the committee was formed, the comprehensive plan committee, to start going through and making some more substantial revisions to the comp plan to meet the requirements of the state. The town applied for a grant to help with that process, but that was not received. So then we filed an extension to get the deadline for these for the provisions moved up to April 9th, 2026. So that's what we're working up against, that April 9th, 2026 deadline. The comprehensive plan committee met in September or October of last year, reviewed the future land use maps, provided good information on different properties that was incorporated into the maps. We met with the town manager, staff to go over capital improvements. In February, a draft data analysis, and this is the next slide. Next slide, the numbers here. So February 11, 2026, draft data analysis, coverage plan amendment document was presented to the committee. They had a number of good comments that we incorporated into the documents, and that was what was in your packet, was those revised documents. And then March 10th here. So hopefully this is the last step. Next slide. So the goal is to revise the comprehensive plan to address the Florida Commerce work report and Florida statutory requirements. It's not a full-scale revision of your comprehensive plan. It does not address the land development code or the zoning regulations. But this is a good first step to that process and would be needed to happen anyway. So, yes.
There's all the change in it. Is this still considered a year, EAR evaluation?
Is this?
It's considered a year, the evaluation.
Yeah. That I don't know. I think it will count.
I know you can do them periodically.
Right. That's a good question. This will reset the clock on that. So the next slide starts the data analysis. That's the first portion of this process. Is the comprehensive plan must be based on data analysis that focuses on the population projections for the town and any other need improvements. This slide here shows the population projection for the planning period, which is the 10-year and 20-year. So the current population is estimated at 715 people, and the projected population in 2035 is 748, and 2045 is 759. So there aren't any available population projections for the town itself, so it's based on the Beaver projection for the county growth, and assuming a similar share of the population in the future, where those numbers came from. The next slide goes over the future land use categories. So part of this process also requires us to demonstrate that the town has adequate land use categories to support the growth over the next 10, 20 years. So we took a look at the total acreage of the future land use categories, and then what the vacant portion was. If we go to the next slide, looking at the vacant portion of land that's outside of floodplain or wetlands. It's not a perfect estimate, but that gives you a rough idea of what land could be built on. And then based on those numbers, on the next slide, you'll see that you need approximately 19 more dwelling units over the next 20 years, and you have enough developable land for 350 dwelling units. So that's demonstrating that the town has adequate vacant land use to support the projected growth. So one of the things that we heard at the Comprehensive Plan Committee was concerns about that population projection, because it is rather low, 44 people over the next 20 years. A couple things I will say is, Beaver is not perfect, and especially at a 20-year time frame. They have a margin of error of about 15%, according to their numbers. So that, just keep that in mind. And, you know, with a smaller community, you know, some sort of catalytic project could radically increase that number, if that is the desire of the council. So, yeah, that's just our comments there. The next slide, and I won't go through each change one by one, but all of these changes on the next several pages were done to meet the requirements for the statutes. So we have essentially a spreadsheet of every statutory requirement related to comprehensive plans, and we go through that spreadsheet and we identify goals, written policies in the comp plan that meet those standards. Where there isn't one has to be created or modified to meet that. So by the end of doing this a couple times, we eventually get a full spreadsheet with every statutory requirement being met. So all these changes here meet those requirements. So, yeah. And as you go through, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me too.
I was just wondering, how often does this have to be statutory to follow?
Yeah, it should be started every 7 years.
So,
Yeah. And then when you do that, you have to plan for the 10 and 20-year planning period. So,
Thank you.
Because you have the space next 7 years, shouldn't be so hard.
hopefully, but like I said, it's also a living document, so, you know, as you encounter things, if you want to make updates and changes to it, it's not like you have to wait to do those, you know, changes.
Understood.
One of the items that was updated was the future land use map. So that was based primarily on the comments that was provided by the Comprehensive Plan Committee. So they had an extensive list, 72 or so items, and you know, we went through and, you know, a lot of just errors from previous mapping that was fixed. So that will be available as part of this document. The next slide is the water supply plan. This is a relatively new requirement to have a separate water supply plan, statutorily required planning exercise where you have to demonstrate that you have adequate facilities and sources within your planning period. So you look at your population growth, what your permanent capacity is, what your actual physical capacity is, identify any risks, financial or otherwise, to that. Based on the data that we see, the projected growth, the city's current system, the plan that we have submitted demonstrates that the town can meet the growth for the next 10 years using the existing facilities. So that's not to say that improvements can't be made or upgraded, but we will be able to provide for the increased population over the next 10 years. Yes.
Was the water dump that they're talking about coming in, will that affect this at all?
The water dump.
The North Jersey Water First, JEA project.
Okay.
Pump their reclaimed water.
Some sort of deep
Will that
aquifer
affect this at
injection
all?
system.
It's tied up in the legislature right now.
Okay. Yeah, that was not contemplated as part of this. Water reuse is one thing that we do look at, but JEA's 10-year water supply plan probably looks a lot different than this one. So that wasn't part of our analysis.
If it goes through, will that need to be addressed, to be statutory and all that stuff?
Potentially, it could be listed as a potential risk, that's a concern to the groundwater supply.
Will you stay on top of that, or do we stay on top of that? How does that work?
Yeah.
I think the legislature will keep us on top of that.
They'll let us know if we need to adjust this, if they pass that?
They will, are going to consider and approve if that happens or not, what it's going to do to Northeast Florida. We'll give them some recommendations for Department of Environmental Protection, Water Management District, and all that.
So you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just going off of what I wrote from the documents you gave us. When the Suwannee Water Management District releases their 5-year plan, that is the trigger for us to update our 5-year plan. So as part of their water planning, I would assume they would adjust their numbers based on how much water they are putting back into the aquifer. We are the droppiest of drops in the bucket of what they're doing with. We don't move the needle in any meaningful way.
So the new policy that's in the content version is that within 18 months of 5-year plan by the water managers being updated, you would adopt a new water supply plan. So about every 5 years, an updated water supply plan will be coming back before you. This one was adopted late 23, early 24. So it'll probably be, you know, around 2030, 2031, when you'll have to adopt the 5 ordinance again. It doesn't require going back to the top thing. process would just be the ordinance, but.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? So, I didn't say this at the beginning, but I should have, but I requested this presentation serve as a presentation for all three items, the two ordinances and the resolution. Refer to the mayor, but I can also quickly summarize for other two items if you like, but make the same presentation.
I kind of like the way that we did when we had the zoning hearings where we just acknowledged that that presentation covers the three items. Does it need any vote or anything?
At the end.
Yeah, eventually when we vote, but not for that.
Thank you, sir, that was awesome.
First item? All right. So the first item is Town Council Resolution number 2026-24, a resolution of the Town of White Springs, Florida, relating to section 163.3177, subsection 1, subsection F, Florida statutes providing for the approval and acceptance of the supplemental data and analysis report supporting proposed comprehensive plan amendments, providing severability, repelling all ordinance and conflict, and providing an effective date.
Okay, council members,
I move that we adopt, Town Council Resolution number 2026-24. Of which, I'm sorry, are we on?
2026-24.
Second motion.
okay, it was motion and second that we adopt resolution 2026-24. Ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried, 5-0.
Next, we need to go into the public hearing for the ordinance on the comprehensive plan. So the mayor will open public hearing.
I will close out this meeting and open it to the public for the hearing. Any public input?
For my own, knowledge, what are we asking them to provide us input on, their opinions of the comprehensive plan?
Yes, on the ordinance, adopting the comprehensive plan, so it would be,
On this place,
Where was it published?
River Bend.
Rubber band and the copy been out here with the public to review. Everybody came in and looked at it, up and advertised, advertised.
Is there any chance that was ever, put on the line where it could be read? I didn't know anything about it.
I'm sorry.
The comprehensive plan, with paperwork that was actually published online, so you could go grab a PDF and read it. And I can't answer a single question about it.
It was published in the River Bend News, and with note that it was available at the clerk's office for review.
Okay, I don't get the River Bend News.
Can we put it on the website?
We got, that much for the website, I got there. I think you've been wrong for it, if you're interested in it, they come in here, with a couple of people there to sit you down, let you read a copy, make copies of whatever. That's what you're looking at on the website.
If you put it on the website, it's not allowed to be downloaded. It's a couple of kilobytes. few kilobytes of data, and then I could read it out. I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't know
what
about web pages, we're working on it, I think that's great. I don't know if we got enough room in there, but the whole thing is all just good on it. You're
But
willing
it
to
is available for review, or you can do a 119 request to get a copy of it.
Yeah, and how much per page?
You know what it is?
15 cents a page,
How much?
15 cents a page, and,
15 cents a page.
15 cents a page. And how many-
65 pages in that one, and it's probably about 200 pages.
There was, so statutorily, we're only required to put it in the Riverbend News.
Oh, I
with
understand.
pickup, and then you can always call and maybe see if someone can email it to you.
Okay,
I'm coming in.
I'll come in and request it.
Anybody else from the public? Now, I will close the public hearing and go back into regular meeting.
Town Council Ordinance number 2026-02, an ordinance of the Town of White Springs, Florida, providing for a text amendment to the Town of White Springs Comprehensive Plan as amended pursuant to Chapter 163, Part 2, Florida statutes, to adopt an amended comprehensive plan to comply with changes to Florida statutes, address changes in local conditions, provide clarification to objectives and policies by amending the future land use element, future land use map, transportation element, housing element, sanitary, sewer, solid waste, drainage, potable water, and natural groundwater aquifer, recharge element, conservation element, recreation and open space element, intergovernmental coordination element, capital improvement element, public school facilities element, and by adding a private property rights element to be included into the Town of White Springs, Florida comprehensive plan under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing severability, repealing all ordinance in conflict, and providing an effective date.
Okay, council.
I move that we accept ordinance number 2026-02, adopting the comprehensive plan amendment.
I second the motion.
Okay, there was motion and second that we, adopt ordinance 2026-02. Ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries 5-0.
Alright, next we have first reading of Town Council Ordinance number 2026-04. An ordinance of the Town of White Springs, Florida relating to sections 163.3167 and 163.3177 Florida statutes, providing for adoption of the town's 10-year water supply facilities work plan, providing severability, repealing all ordinance in conflict, and providing an effective date.
I move to adopt the first reading of Town Council Ordinance number 2026-04.
I second the motion.
Okay, it was motion and second that we adopt ordinance council 2026-04. Ready for the question?
First reading.
First reading, I'm sorry, first reading. Okay. Ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, 5-0.
Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, council. We will get that sent up to court corporate hours, hopefully by the end of this week. Be in touch. But I think the closing statement is that these amendments will help you as you move forward with any other changes that you want to make to your landfill regulations or the zoning map. This is kind of the prerequisite step, so. Thank you very much. And,
Okay, and keep us in touch when sometimes we'll.
yes, as soon as we find out more about his service, we'll let you know.
Did he still have a job? Or did the job already pass?
Lowell, his dog.
No, the dog had cancer too. We were all going
okay.
through cancer at the same time. That's how he and I got killed.
Okay.
When I was working for a while.
Okay, I believe so.
Ben Glass speaks to the county review.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Ben Glass, Wine River, Water Management.
Okay, yeah, I've been working with Ben for
Thank you for your communication.
quite a while, so.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The Telford Incorporated, you don't be now.
Okay, basically what it is, I am seeking approval from the council to look at this articles of incorporation and approve it, and it will be a partnership between the town and the President of Telford Incorporated. So we can go ahead and establish our nonprofit and to start working on funding, so we can pay for different studies and things that we need to get done to see if we're gonna be able to move forward with, acquiring the telephone. Over the past weekend, we went to Florida Trail and their tours. Bruce brought two wonderful groups by. We had a lot of interest. Some people wanted to make donations, the others said they'll stay in the code, but we wasn't set up for that yet. I got quite a few emails from them, that said, once you get set up, email us and let us know. Met one guy, I can't remember his name, I know he works for the state in Tallahassee. He said that he had people that he can put us in touch with that would also help with the funding. So now I'm asking you all to look over the article of incorporation, see if you have any questions, and if you do not, then please vote and approve this so we can move forward with trying to make something happen in North Bend.
And we just got this tonight, right? Tonight? Can we put this on the next agenda?
Before our next meeting, because we have some things, if you approve it, then we have some things that we can start doing, that Mr. Lee will let us use the telephone for to do it, to start making it with fundraising. And so wait again, would be too long. It's not even that hard, it was just, basically saying that, okay, it's the Friends of Telford, and it was telling the state, the general purpose is the corporation is organized exclusively for charitable and educational purposes within the meaning of 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. Specific purpose, the corporation is formed to support, promote, restore, preserve the historical integrity, and enhance the programs and facilities of the Telford Hotel, Restaurant, and Museum in partnership with the town of White Springs, Florida. No parts of the net earnings of the corporation shall endure benefit of any director, officer, or private individual. No substantial part of the activities of the corporation shall be carrying on of propaganda or attempting to influence legislation. In this Article 4, the dissolution. Upon dissolution of this corporation, all remaining assets should be distributed to the municipality of the town of White Springs, Florida. Conversely, in the event of dissolution or legal abolishment of the municipality, any assets or titles held by the corporation that were gained through joint efforts or municipal grants shall remain the property of the corporation to be used exclusively for its exempt charitable purposes. The registered agent is Nicole Williams, Incorporated will be Leslie John Bart. the adoption of the bylaws, corporate bylaws. The composition of the board shall consist of 7 voting directors. 5 directors should be elected by the board, which is independent committee, which are members of the community redevelopment, committee. 2 directors shall be appointed by the town council. These directors should have full voting rights. Vacancies in the committee seats shall be filled by the majority vote of the remaining committee directors, ensuring that the committee maintains governing control. Article 2, municipal partnership. Section 1, the corporation shall operate under municipality's general liability and professional insurance policy. The board shall ensure all activities align with the town's risk management guidelines. Section 2, staff utilization. The board may utilize town staff for operational tasks while performing corporation work. Staff shall follow the strategic direction of the board, provided it does not conflict with the town's HR policy. Article 3, sunshine law and public records. Section 1, open meetings. In accordance with Florida Statute 286.011, all meetings of the board where 2 or more members are present to discuss corporation business shall be open to the public. Section 2, public notice of meeting shall be posted at least 7 days in advance at town hall or museum. Section 3, records. All corporate records, including emails and minutes, shall be maintained and produced in accordance with Florida's Public Records Law, Florida Statute, Chapter 119.
What's the museum?
That is what we are trying to do with the Telford. It will be the hotel, the restaurant, and the White Springs History Museum.
So it's gonna be considered a museum?
It's gonna be all 3, but yeah. It's gonna be a section that has, because it's so many historical artifacts already there. And I'm steady getting things in that is historical for the town. People are, reaching out with different little things of history that they have. When we're at the mural, when I go sit and watch the people to go and paint the mural, we have people coming through from this Tri-County area that have so much history, and items that they want to donate. So it's not just like, it's a handful of people that want this, it's a lot of people who want it. It's a few that doesn't. I've heard on both sides, but for the most part, it doesn't hurt to at least give us the permission to at least start working on something. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but it won't be because we didn't try.
How are you expecting to use the town staff?
Leslie, Omarosa, they're part of the town. So, to help keep us on track, just like it is, usually.
Okay, are you planning on having a workshop with the community, have a community input on it?
We've had one. We've had a couple, and we've had standing meetings the 4th Monday of every month that we've had for the past 3 months.
So,
some people come, but most do not. So it's not like we haven't been reaching out, it's not like we haven't been trying to make contact, it's whether the community wanna come and participate.
when you have your meetings, I don't think they understand that that's like a workshop for them as well. Because people been calling me, asking me about this project, and the only thing I can tell them is about the meetings you all have. But I think what they are looking for is for you invite the whole community just to come in and talk to them about what's going on.
Okay. Now,
All I can do is tell them about the
right,
meetings you all
but
have.
the thing is, you have people that know about this meeting. It's on Facebook. I mean, not on Facebook, it's on the town webpage, every meeting that we have. People show up to what they are interested in and what they want to do. This is the most people that have been in town council meetings in the past 4 to 5 months. This is the most people that have been in a meeting, period. The only time people come is when it's something that concerns something that they're interested in. We can hold all the workshops that we want, but that doesn't stop the fact that we have things that we have to get done and studies and things that have to be done that we can't move forward with. We can't get any donations or anything until we set this up. The city does not want to pay for anything at this moment. We're not asking them to, we're asking them to give us permission to go ahead and set this up so we can work on our own funding.
Okay,
We
so-
can't do it until we get the approval.
So you said the 23rd, there's a, special meeting, the 24th?
The 23rd, we have developers and things of that nature.
The 24th is a special meeting.
So when it falls to a special council meeting.
Can we set up a workshop for the town council, so for all of us here, to talk through articles of incorporation and what that relationship will look like and how this is all gonna play out? And can we do that next week? That way it can all get done before the meeting on the
I'm just
23rd?
looking at my short knowledge, 2 pages that include the articles and the bylaws. I've never seen anything this skinny. And I've only done,
Articles aren't usually that long, so I don't know what you're used to seeing, but it's only so much that you file with the state under your articles of incorporation, because if you put too much there, that's what you are governed by, and that means you would have to go through so much red tape to even change the stuff in your articles of incorporation.
I've
The bylaw-
incorporated several things and it's never been this tiny.
Well, I don't know, I've done a couple of nonprofits, and it has never been that long. The longest part that I've ever had to do was filing for the 501c3. State paperwork takes all of 10 minutes. So.
Yes.
Couple
You
of
sponsor the
questions.
podium?
Yeah, yes. I stated my name, John Warner, live on 10622 Picnic Street. And a couple of questions. What is the financial cost to the town? We talked about using county staff, that costs money. What are the risks financially to the town of co-working with the Telford? Could we be on the hook for hundreds of thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars? And the other question I would have is you mentioned something about those artifacts inside the Telford. Now, anybody who's walked past the Telford in the last several weeks seen a pile of stuff that they've already thrown out of the Telford. What? Has there been someone who is familiar with antique buildings that, a professor or something like that saying, this has value as an artifact, this does not? What, and is there a list of the artifacts that you talked about?
There's not a list, and I don't, until we get any farther in it and decide what is gonna happen, I don't see him just saying, oh, I got this listed in here, this, that, and the other. But there are a lot of antiques and historical artifacts that's in the Telford. Have you been in the Telford before?
I haven't been in the Telford
Okay.
before, but no, I'm not going by that.
Well, what I'm saying, the things that you are seeing behind there are things that they have been repairing, the walls and stuff like that. They have not torn up any of the historical, they haven't torn up anything that is historical, nothing dealing with the structure. The only
That's
thing
what-
that had to be fixed. Now, the front
Without-
doors, I got a few things about the front door. The front doors were replaced. He's getting them fixed, but it's gonna take several months to get it fixed because the doors were built in 1900.
What I'm saying is, a builder,
Oversight.
there's no historical oversight from a builder. Not
But see,
unless
that's
you got
not-
someone who is familiar with
Have you looked
antiquities.
at any of the papers dealing with the Telford that's been provided?
Ma'am,
Nikki, can I just interject, because I did get the opportunity to go into Telford with Nicole and everything, and it was a marvelous visit, and the place is filled with beautiful antiques and other historical records, and Nick is very much on top of this project. He loves the Telford, he loves every single thing in it. It's very hard for him to give up on this, so he's protecting things, and his son lives there still, I
okay, I
believe.
mean, that's good.
So, yeah, so just to relieve you that Nick is doing everything right, and he's originally wasn't going to spend much money, but he's actually spending money to kind of get it more fixed up, so it would be easier to sell it.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Nicole.
But the other two questions still is, what is the financial cost to the town and the financial risk of associating with the Telford legally to the town? So those have to be considered.
We
And-
can't
and
get
then is there-
anything done until we're able to move forward. People want to know all of these different things. First of all, we're trying to
You have a
purchase it.
lawyer here.
We are trying to, she keep, until this. Okay, when this first came out, I did, I did two different reports, I wanna think it was, that showed the difference and what, I might need to send you a copy so you can see it. I've gone through all of this. I've researched, it's not like I just decided to wake up today and say, hey, I wanna do this with the Telford, I wanna do that with the Telford. This is something I've researched for the past 8-9 months. Not nothing that just popped up. I did 2 reports. I have spoken to people from all different places, that can help, that are willing to help. We cannot move forward, all of this is being done without town funds. But in reality and realistically, if the town is going to benefit from it, something has to come through from them. We've had a report done, but that'll be printed up for the committee to see first. And I can provide it to the council next week also when we have our meeting. But, I've had an architectural engineer to already come through. She has a report ready for me. Right now, I've been in contact with 2 different commercial appraisers to try to get a commercial appraisal. We got some things to work out. I'm trying to see if I can get them to do it in kind service, because right now we don't have any money and the town is not funding the bill, which is why I need articles of incorporation so we can open up our account and start doing fundraising. I have several committee members who want to raise money, donate money, but legally we cannot until we are incorporated until we have this incorporation done. So anything else is just like, okay, can't do anything, we're stuck until this is either done or not done.
I think, if we're looking for a workshop, which is, at least the person for December, said, we're meeting next Tuesday.
Right, that's what Robert suggested, right?
Yeah.
No, this was on the plan.
But I just said, okay.
No, on the,
I
on the
thought you were
17th.
saying in
We have a
April.
meeting on the 17th.
Okay, see, I thought you were saying in April, I'm like, look, we got the, developers and people who
But
might be
looking at the 17th,
finally helping with the finance.
we already have.
This is like it's not gonna cost, we're trying to do where it's going to cost little to nothing for the town. The most part at the moment that we are looking at from the town is utilization of the staff and.
Well, that costs money. You follow.
Okay, so if it's something that's gonna benefit the town, and it's
Yeah,
a couple of
I'm
hours,
not saying,
a couple of hours, or, it's not even that much, a little pretty here, Leslie reading over some things,
But
things
remember
of
we
that
talked
nature.
about public
John, you
comment
made your
being
point.
public
Okay, all
comment.
right, I'm doing
You're
it.
not going,
Yeah.
you're not gonna win every, it's public comment.
George Tuidor, 16511 Jewett Street. I think to the mayor's point, is the questions, and people come to me too, and they're like, I heard this talk about getting the Telford, but like, I don't really know what we really want to do with it. Like, that you need an elevator speed, you need to say we're gonna have 37 rooms that we're gonna rent out, we're gonna have a restaurant, with some kind of stuff that we're gonna do with it, and we're gonna have venues for weddings, whatever the things are, not just vague and general, like, type things, but, you know, you also need to have a plan if you're looking to move forward, that you know what you want to do, and be able to convey it to the community. Because right now, everybody's like, I don't know what they're gonna do, all I know, and you get into the weeds with the documents about the legalities and technicalities. I don't think people really care about that. Not really at this point, they sure don't. You know, they just wanna know, like, what am I gonna tell people when they ask the questions? So maybe that might be what the mayor's getting approached with. Thank you.
That's what I'm trying to say, you know,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, so I don't have it
Yeah.
to, I mean, I don't carry it around with me, but, you you know,
Actually, the paper has it, I thought she sent you a copy of that. But we've done, the business plan, she's supposed to be knowing it to the two of you all to look over it.
I think you got it. This is one of the emails, I think.
But I thought she did.
We're meeting next Tuesday at 6:30 for the second reading. Ordinance 2026-03. It went like last meeting.
Incorporate into. Can you schedule a workshop or a special meeting directly after it? So we don't have to sit around for 27 minutes waiting for the next.
Double book for 6:30.
Workshop is
6:30 and 6:35.
But yeah, we do have a business plan. I just got the, thing back from, the engineer. She texted me this morning, said she's getting ready to email it to me. And I'm still, but I can't move forward with getting the appraisal or anything like that done until we take the first necessary step.
Okay. All right, well, we'll talk about this more on the 17th.
So thank you.
So we'll have a workshop regarding the Telford procedure.
We're gonna do, wait, which one comes first?
We're
gonna do the special meeting first.
Special meeting first.
Then a workshop, and then the
Workshop
meeting.
follows to discuss pros and cons of the Telford, I guess.
And then the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That works for me.
What time?
You look at the-
6:30 is the council meeting, and then immediately following the meeting. Open 6:35.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
That's how it was, that's how it was.
Yeah.
But don't take one that you've already had first reading there.
What?
You've already had first reading.
Yeah.
Are we done?
No, we good on that. Yeah. We good. So the 17th, we're gonna have another meeting next week. All right. Okay, time management. Time management.
We're not going further, right here, so we can go home. You got anything? He ain't been here 3 or 4 months, so you got me spending.
Yeah. Yeah, been time?
You didn't have
Y'all
to.
spend some money?
No, not really, but we have to.
I don't have any, the only thing, DEP, they done a draft of the, sewer plant permit, so we should be getting this month, and, everything. Negative, all the samples came back good, so we should be good to go. And compliance on everything. What's your good?
No, I was just gonna tell you that, when I was getting signatures yesterday, I had, 2 different people to commend Curtis and Chucky on trimming around the sidewalks and cleaning it back up and how well it looked. And they were just like very high, they were very happy with the outcome of it.
I couldn't do it without them.
So I just wanted to put that on record that they are very pleased with the work that, Chucky and Curtis do.
They are, they do need to be commended.
Cause I saw Chucky today, I'm like, boy, he working that term, first he was cutting, then I saw what I said, when the Lord giving it to me.
All I had to tell was the governor's coming today, tomorrow, they got with it.
Don't be doing it.
Ray, you need to shampoo the red carpet tonight, so you can roll it out for him.
Go back to the statute.
Okay.
Is there a statue already there?
Yes.
I'm standing
Where did they put it? Where
tonight.
the sign used to be?
9:30.
I'm not sure.
No, it's right now, if you look at the steps, it's just to the right of the steps. They got it covered.
Okay,
Okay, time manager report.
I want to also add kudos to this man right here. For all the cold weather we've had, him out with the flu and pneumonia and everything else he had, the idea kept us going. He watered, him and his crew both, I tell you. It's amazing what they can do with three people run a small city like this. And I get calls and see people all the time. Thank you so much for all you do. And don't think about leaving. It's been a busy month, as you see the paperwork here, it keeps piling up, on charter amendments and comprehensive land water supply. We've talked about, I met, had a meeting with, FDOT on the 5th regarding the resurfacing of Mill and Sunrise Drive. They're doing the design and everything. We've got to make sure that we don't cross the railroad or encroach upon, 41. And we're working that way with engineers to make sure that you may have 6 foot before 41 or 6 foot before the railroad that don't get paved or something, because we're not going to encroach on that, because that's a whole different deal and delay of another 2 or 3 years if we do that. But right now, scheduled for sometime late this year or next year for the resurface. So not gonna happen tomorrow. We had problems with our utility building. We've had somebody somewhere along the way eat through the state billing system that we're part of. And a whole bunch of $1, $2, and $25 fraudulent charges that we look into. So as a result of that, Civic Tech, which is part of government e-commerce, that they changed and we're getting to a new system at the current time, and I don't know if it's going to be 2 weeks or tomorrow or a month. That you can't take credit cards for payments. You get cash, check, or money order for utility bill payments until further notice. You get the word out as soon as you can. I'm going to schedule on May the 1st a amnesty day for trash pickup, delivery. I don't know if we're going to set it up that yet, but the people can bring the trash and big items in, no batteries, no tires, and no hazardous material, but the other stuff, couches and refrigerators and no used cars, of course.
You said no batteries and
no batteries,
no tires.
And hazardous material, which means a lot of times paint, unless it's dry, and then dry your body. So that'll be, we'll be information out on that, that'll be an amnesty day. We got tomorrow night, and here we're going to have a meeting about May Day. There's so many innuendos and things out there. Kind of like the help of we're going to set some ground rules of what's going to go on for May Day. And the sheriff has been pretty adamant about not having all these block parties and all that stuff. So we have no control over that. These sheriffs, people are planning on all kinds of rodeos and parties and all that stuff, blocking roads. It ain't gonna happen in May Day. Okay, water supply facility we talked about, water bills. Did people finally get the water bills from the post office? Are they getting them in the house?
Ours finally came.
Post office finally delivered.
Over there that, not like we normally do, and they took a few out that had post office boxes here and put them in the box. The rest of them went to Jacksonville, and we don't know where else. So they finally come back home, so everybody should hear how their new bills are doing. We got ethics training. All y'all will need the annual ethics training this year again. It's 4 hours, July the 30th in Chiefland, where y'all went. It's going to be July the 30th in Chiefland. You're going to go let me know. No cost, but if you sign up and don't go, then there'll be a cost to the city that if you sign up for it and don't go, they expect to reimburse the city for the cost.
That's something we don't need.
That's right.
And it's the same training this year too from last year.
Right, and I'll get with you, because we're doing it some time, but I want to give you plenty of time for July 30th, and then on April 17th, is the Swan Rural League, and I haven't heard from a couple of them, they go to that,
You going?
16th. April 16th at 5.
Did I respond to that email? Did I respond?
What time is it at?
6
o'clock. It's the Swanee
Yeah,
River
right,
League dinner.
At the chamber, but again, there, if you sign up, don't go,
It's free.
don't cost us.
But you don't want to give it up.
$50.
Okay, you can put me down as the G.
That was April 16th.
Yep, for a second.
So, I think, still got a lot to go, but, again, the governor in town in the morning, 9:30, and all are expected to, if you can, come, if you can, our hobnob with governor if you can, and you've got 30 minutes set aside to meet with people before
So he'll be here at 9, or he's gonna come here
He's
at
supposed to be
9:30?
he's supposed to be here at 9:30, and have his ceremony at 10, and we're leaving.
Okay.
So we've got about 30 minutes, unless he gets here early. I'll try to get to it with chief of staff ahead of time, and see if we can reschedule a few minutes with him.
To get here early?
I suggest it was 9 or at least. I'm sure they're all.
All of them probably gonna get them
down
early.
there, I wish he would bring us a big check.
I'm telling you.
I'm sure you
Hey,
will.
if this ask.
And then the other thing on May the 10th, May the 11th, our council meeting, we will be at May the 12th. I have representatives from Florida City County Managers Association, come here to do a presentation to the town for being more than 30 years as a city manager or town manager type of government. And we'll be here to do a presentation to the town on May 12th for that. That's part of, that's part of council meeting.
It's like, on our council meeting.
And that's it.
All right, 3 quick things. John would be happy to know, we have a YouTube channel called at Town of White Springs that has the videos, all the videos that the town has been paying for have been uploaded. So, through, I want to say December, through December.
Can you go request, can you just, I mean, next water bill, just put that on it?
Mm-hmm.
That way everyone who, that's almost everybody in town is.
Yep. So, there you go, the final. A couple other things is that we do have the election coming up on April 28th. Qualifying started today. It ends on next Tuesday at noon. And we did have a candidate workshop that was recorded by Mr. Nick and is up on his YouTube channel. So that if you are interested in being a candidate and want to watch that video, it's a great video to watch. Then, because many of y'all probably didn't see this, but this is very important, is that while we were in Jasper back in February, thanks to a tip that I received that apparently in 2019, you good voters here had charter amendments that you voted on, and 4 of them passed. But amazingly, no one seemed to know this. So we have all been using the charter from 2012. So we've had to do some quick work. 4 of them passed. One of them that failed was to go to 4-year terms, which is fine. The problem is 2 of them that passed were about implementing 4-year terms. Right? So we've had to do some cleanup. We've already had the first reading for the ordinance. We've got 6 charter amendments that will be on the ballot on April 28th. The first one is the cleanup one. All right, so back in 2019, there was a decision to go to numbered seats. So we have Robert is seat 1, Mayor Brown is seat 2, Nikki is seat 3, Cheryl is seat 4 and Gretchen is seat 5. The numbers don't pertain to anything special, that's just their designation. So that when people run for office, they have to decide which seat they're going to run for, which in turn determines who they're running against. Okay? So, that was one of the things that was voted on in 2019. Then, of course, because you voted against 4 years, but enacted 4 years, we had to go back to making sure we still have 2-year terms, because we can't just say it doesn't work. We have to actually affirmatively just acknowledge that we are still staying at 2-year terms. And that we're still having elections in odd number of years and even number of years. Even number of years will be the same 3 seats, just like the 3 that are up. Odd number of years would be 2 seats, so those would be 2 and 4. And so that, the first charter amendment is just basically codifying what was there before that was voted on, discarding the stuff that was voted on that we can't implement because you decided you didn't want it, but you wanted to implement it. And so that's the cleanup one. Then the other 5 are simply about making sure our charter agrees with Florida law. So they are, again, kind of cleanup amendments to the charter just to bring us in line with what Florida law says. And there is a ordinance. It has an Exhibit A, which shows you what it will look like on the ballot. It has an Exhibit B, which includes all the actual language that will go in the statute, along with the explanation for why that in particular. Every year you can do charter amendments through this process with an ordinance. But these were just going to be the ones that needed to be done. One, fixing everything in line with 2019, bringing it current, and bringing the charter up to Florida law. If you have any questions about those, we will be having a meeting on Tuesday where we will have the second reading of the ordinance, and you're more than welcome to attend. We did a workshop 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and the first reading last week. So, but this is available here. The entire packet is available because it went into the paper. Look, all my dates are getting confused here. On the 4th, I believe, so it was in the Riverbend News on the 4th, and so we have had it available. So it's here at the clerk's office if you want to take a look at it, if you have any questions about how all of that works. So, but since you're here, any quick questions? Confused enough already?
No, it just sounds like you're just doing something, which is absolutely fabulous.
So, but yeah, that's kind of an unusual thing, so I wanted to make sure I pointed that out since we actually had an audience today. So, and that's it for me.
Thank you. Well, since we don't have no more bids, then now we'll go right on to the council. Vice Mayor, Nicole?
Okay, first off, for my report, since there was mention of rumors, earlier in the meeting, I want to clear up some things. I feel that most of us who come to the meetings are adults. I've been hearing all types of rumors, period. One rumor was brought to me was that we did not want Councilwoman Gretchen on the council, which is ridiculous because she was voted in unanimously, 4-0. These rumors that keep being spread are hurting the town more so than helping the town. My mama always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And we need to live by that. Secondly, I don't know where your rumor come from about the unspent money, but well, the money that was spent with no receipts, but I know every time, even when it's a donation made here for a specific project, if it's a personal donation made for a specific project or whatever, we still bring receipts back. every time I have had anything or hosted anything, receipts have been, turned in. And as far as I know, I don't think anybody else has hosted anything, so that's kind of like a deed towards me, because I've hosted like about 3 things I've sponsored, but each time receipts have been turned in. I never have gotten money and haven't turned in a receipt. Secondly, Mr. Tudor, the statement was not made that you endorsed the Telford. The statement that was made was you had nothing negative to say about that the other day when you came by and stopped by the Telford. I mean.
No, and I don't, and I think the thing that, like, we all should do is let you work through this process with your ideas. And
no, it's just that I want to clear it up, so, because there's been so much misinformation being passed. So, and I know nobody was out there at the Telford when you came by. It was either me and Gretchen or either myself.
Yeah, no,
and
it was Tuidor and then Gretchen was speaking to the man who lives across the street.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't, the misinformation has to stop, because it creates so much, it creates issues when things are not reported the correct way. And this is starting to remind me so much of elementary school kids, not even high school. It's just crazy how things get switched around, turned around, and bent upside down. But I do want to go ahead and make that correction, to tell you that it was just a statement made that you had nothing negative to say.
No,
therefore, the same thing was said about Sharon. I said Sharon had nothing negative to say when she stopped by us.
Because quite honestly, and this was my comment earlier, and that is, I don't really know what your plan is for it, so I can't really be that critical because.
Well, we've never really had that discussion, but just for public knowledge.
Right.
The idea about the Telford Hotel, Restaurant, and Museum is to open the Telford back up. It is a lot of people. Even if you get online now, you have people comment as far as a few months ago under the different sites that have something to do with the Telford about their childhood when they came through, all the way up until, I'm so sad to see it's closed, da. But when you step back into the Telford, if this project goes the way that we think it's going to go, when you step back into the Telford, you're stepping back into 1902 during the Telford Glory Days. There is a theater there for a dinner theater, have different types of entertainment, but there's also a section there that we want to turn into a museum because of all the historical things that are there and things that I am steady getting in. Just recently, I was given a letter from a gentleman named Joseph Perkins from Massachusetts that was a officer at the prisoner of war camp over by the old VFW, which is over here by the Diamond Platte subdivision, where he went to do the Diamond Platte subdivision. He had given the previous owner a card and the menu, the actual card from their Christmas program, along with a letter of what went on there.
I don't deny that there's a lot of compelling interest in wonderful stories, but the numbers have to work. And
Well,
right now,
that's what we're working on. This is why we're reaching out to people to help sponsor, to help develop, things of that nature. It would be it would be better if people actually start coming to me. Because you might have one here, one there, but if you really want to know what's going on,
I came to one and I didn't come away with anything. I'm not,
Right. No, this is not just directed to you. This is just my council statement because it's being recorded twice, so people can see, hear, and understand, what it is that we're trying to work on. We're trying to bring jobs. We're trying to bring tourists back here. White Springs was the first tourist destination in the state of Florida. White Springs was the home of the second Girl Scout troop in the nation.
Right.
The first in the state of Florida. White Springs has a lot of valuable history. You've had 3 presidents that have been at the Telford. You had Calvin Coolidge, William Taft, as well as Theodore Roosevelt. I have a picture of Teddy Roosevelt in the back of the Telford doing a speech. So this is just something that are important. The people who live on the street, I've spoken to like 4 people that live actually 5, but she goes one, we like, okay, whatever you do, let us know. But, I've spoken to 4 people that live actually on the street that want us to.
And as I said,
do it.
and please don't interrupt you for a moment. And as I said in the meeting where I was publicly insulted, that in order for us to have this bit of nostalgia, the town also has to look like the town looked when the Telford was in its magic period. In itself, it's not enough. The town has got to be lifted back into that period, like Leavenworth, Washington reinvented and changed their code to require that people build things that look like a European village. So they've drawn in and done a very successful draw from around the country and made across the world to visit that. Winthrop, Washington, another example, where they turned it into Western themes. All the structures have to look like a Western town. So that was the thing. I think it's a wonderful idea, but for the charm, the town has to also go back in time like the Telfords, not just enough for the Telford. But I was insulted on that point, but that was the truth. And that's something that we really have to be honest about as we try to bring this project forward.
To go to his point, if you look at Helen, Georgia, that was a town that was.
Okay, we're gonna discuss some more,
Okay.
going
That
on.
was-
But, other than that, I think that was about it as far as my report. Yeah, that's it.
Councilman Gansby.
I will try to be quick, because I can be anyway. So we had what I would call the organizational meeting for the new auditor last month. So we sat down, we went over timelines, we discussed the new audit. It's officially underway now. We've signed the engagement letter.
We gave the letter, we got the, all the work papers ready for them to pick up, and they're doing a smart sheet or something.
Oh, smart sheet, yeah. So we're on track, everything's going as it should be, so that's good. You saw work product from the comprehensive planning committee, so you saw those documents, that's what we've been working on since July. Many meetings, a whole lot of reading, a whole lot of walking around town, putting forward, writing down, what's not labeled correctly. So that's good, it's good that's finally done. We're going to have to move forward to the rest of our zoning debacle, because the zoning atlas is inaccurate, and it's from, 2014? So it's been inaccurate for a very long time, it's gotta get fixed up. Our LDRs are sitting around in 3 different pieces right now. There's
We got your word now, we lifted it in word.
even if it gets into one document, it still has to be updated. Obviously, we need to sit a zoning board, we need to sit a board of adjustments. So we've got a lot of work to do, resetting the foundation for our zoning policies, if we want to grow. So, like how he mentioned that somebody brought up an objection about, basically growing 8% over the next 20 years. Well, that was me. I said, as a town, we're going to have to grow because we don't have, large enough tax base right now. And based on the numbers in the comp plan that they gave us, to reach what my target would be, which is basically 1,500 people, we have to build on every available open lot right now to reach that number. So there's a lot of work that we as a town have to do to actually grow and grow in a sustainable way, and grow in the way we want to grow to reach that number. But that is future land stuff for now. And finally, I wanted to talk about a community health survey that Well Florida is conducting right now. So it's for Columbia and Hamilton counties. It runs until March 31st. So I printed off some flyers. I'd like everybody to go take it if you can. It's basically just asking about what the status of healthcare in our area is. And since you live here, you all know there is no healthcare here. So,
Can I see that for a second?
it's on our website too.
It's on the webpage.
You can keep it.
Okay, in one of these. And the men first, am I or am I not, I don't care why. And then you.
But there's two different ones, so.
Okay, I got you.
When you go to the website, it'll say click here if you're a person, you know, your patient or whatever, and then click here if you're a provider or a community partner. So I've already taken it, when you click on the I'm an actual person card, it does go to a full survey that's a
Okay.
bunch of pages. So, we're gonna get the smart sheet up with the auditor, and once the smart sheet's up, the audit committee's gonna have visibility and all this stuff counts at that point. Realistically, we're probably not gonna have another meeting or have the audit committee to do anything substantial until April, so I guess, probably the second half of April. The bulk of the field work should be getting done in May, so just be a little bit of stuff. That's everything I have. Leslie, do we have an update on, yeah?
Councilwoman
Yeah,
McCall?
we will, I promise you.
Do we have an update from, Sherman?
I can't hear you.
No, but I did, request, Sharon Shea send me her pay stub so that I can attach that. And I got that just, today, but I just asked for it yesterday so that I can attach everything. So
Find
it's,
out the next meeting.
yes, so it's still moving forward.
And I have a question for Leslie.
She asked within an update on Shirley. Just to reiterate, we can't make her pay us back, correct? Because we gave it to her and we knew she hadn't been to the meeting.
So I was doing some research on that, and there is a concept for enrichment, unjust enrichment, where she could be forced to pay it back because it's government money, because it's public money. It's kind of like if they overgave you food stamps, even if they overgave you food stamps and you used them, they're gonna still come back and get their taxes.
Because it's not our money. And that's my whole, it's not, yeah.
No, I just think it's a little petty.
No, she didn't do anything, it's our money. Clean my ditch out. Clean the
No,
ditch
hey,
out.
excuse me.
Sorry, my apologies.
Moving forward.
And I have a question about the quarterly report. Is that what Mr. Powell was presenting tonight? Is that the quarterly?
That's the monthly, we work with a few of that city keeps to work out to get the quarterly one.
So that's different from what he
They'll
told me.
come forward with, hoping by next month they will have it, because we'll be in 6 months. Next month will be 6 months of the year. This was 5 months we had tonight.
Okay.
Okay, Councilwoman Fouch.
Yeah, try spelling half of it, that's been fun. The only thing I really have is a couple things. I want to thank everybody for coming out, because we did have a pretty decent turnout tonight, which is really, really, really good. Continue to come to the meetings, please, check the website. I know there was a discussion, brief discussion about what's going on with the water and that Jacksonville project that was mentioned. There is a meeting next Thursday on the 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Swan River Water Management District Office in Live Oak. No, they moved it from the Jasper, that was the Jasper meeting that they canceled, and they moved it to next week out in Live Oak from 6 to 8 p.m. And they're gonna, you can be for or against it, but they're gonna be discussing, they should be discussing specifications of what they're actually doing. Yeah, on the 19th, so I encourage everybody to go to that, if you want to learn more about it.
Do you have anything to add to what I said about the bills and the billing and payments?
No, but, not really. This has been an ongoing project, and it started back in 2024. there would be payments, most of them failed, $1 and $2, and then now they increased it to $25. And what they're doing is, we haven't really figured it out, but we spoke to Silvertex today, and we have in the past also, and it is nothing against our bank account. There is no way that you're bothering any money in our account, and the payments are not going anywhere in the town of White Springs. The only payments that we are receiving is from our customers, and I am applying them to their account. But it's nothing against our bank account. Am I correct?
If I can say one other thing, to people that delinquent in your water bills, we're sending out letters for people that are delinquent. We'll give you 30 days, and then after 30 days, you get a second letter. And after that 60 days, if you haven't paid, probably have water cut off, no water supply, or liens on your house or something. But we're working that out. We've got too many people that haven't paid their utility bill. We need to get up to date on it.
Is that factoring out the water deposits?
Yeah,
What we do with those,
some of the people years ago paid $10 water.
Right.
yeah, some people do not even have a deposit once they start.
We're trying to work through all that stuff that we mentioned last year and the audit.
But if
You ain't pay your water bill, and you see curb in there, there's a sidewalk.
We're just working on trying to do some collection. And the last resort would be probably placing a lien against the homes. That would be the last resort.
You finished? That's it.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Excuse me.
All I just want to say is I did a mayor's address. I had several residents, people in the community kept wanting me to do a mayor's address. It's not even in our community, but far away from here. They have seen the governor's address, the state address. So they asked me to do a mayor's address. So it is on the website. So I advise you to go and read it and look at it. If you have anything to say, be free to tell me. I don't mind. I've been locked on, knocked down, trumpet on. It doesn't matter. You're not hurting my feelings. You're just encouraging me to do more. So I advise you all to take a look at that and encourage me some more. Okay? Now we can go home.
Wait, I'm taking the time to do that.
Oh, you
Who
I
made the
move to
motion
adjourn the meeting.
adjourn?
Robert did.
Robert, okay, Robert.
Okay, motion has been, motion made for second and meeting adjourned.
Good night, y'all.
2 hours.
Three hours.